here.
I'm very tired. I had a very disjointed meditation. I was in, but it just was like I went into this lovely grassy field and the sun was shining and it was beautiful and the goddess was there. Isis was like with the solar disc. Yeah, yeah. And there were two paths and I just sort of sat myself down in front of her and supplication and just,
that was fine.
sort of poured out everything and asked for guidance about paths and which path, and yeah, just it was just lovely.
Be there.
Yeah, just to be there in that protected space. Yeah, yeah. I just sort of poured out everything that's going on, and she just her shining, kind face, just listening, Yeah, I'll know the right thing to do at the right time. Yeah.
All right.
So that was that. Short, but not short, but very nice.
Oh, heavy. I'm struggling a little bit with a little bit of an allergy attack because I'm surprised I didn't have a big sneeze too.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't.
Close.
Sneeze in the key of D?
Yeah, I wouldn't be so fortunate, I don't think. But managed to not do that, so that was a plus. Yeah, me too. Kind of did get this place that was on the grass, and for a while I was walking on the wall. And there was different walls. There was a wall that was like a fence that was made with kind of living young willows, just kind of woven into this.
Oh, neat.
Old English style. And there was I was different places, different, like just this hill, but then a connection to these other meditations in this other place with my lake where it's always twilight. So I thought, well, this sun should be here, and the whole thing became bright. And the idea that the dark waters became clear for the most part. There seemed like there was other shadows in the pond and the lake, but that's for later investigation. I was myself. I was like another version of myself. I was this other being that I connect to sometimes. It was all like 3 different levels of me there. There's a dragon.
Back to the dragons.
Back to the dragons, and the dragons go way high. They go beyond the sun. They're like interstellar dragons.
Interstellar dragons.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Interstellar dragons.
Rawr.
They don't need atmosphere. And there was a goddess too, with the sun kind of face goddess. It was like Apollo with the lyre.
Mm.
is also there. But then it was like, is it a god? Is it a goddess? It was both. Athena was there because I got a thing with Athena, but she was there being, and this, you got this idea of the light. So the light within, I got some connections to the diamond light information, which we've been working on channeling, and which hasn't really come up much in these, but directly. But we'll get to recording some diamond light stuff soon, I think, because we're almost done the tree now.
3 more?
2 more.
2 more?
30. This was 30. There's 32 paths.
There's
Judgment
30,
and
31, 32.
the world next. That's tree of life. All 32 paths.
Yeah.
With this whole idea about, it was like you get through, there was like this pastoral scene, and I got this idea of riding the sun, and the sun was, there was more than one sun too. There was a sun, and then there was like a sun beyond that sun.
Oh my, wow.
Interesting. So it's not this solar system where I was at, it's a whole nother vibration of solar system where there's like more than one sun. And the idea though was that, and that's when the dragon came in, is kind of going to other levels, but it was this idea of other levels, of breakthroughs to other levels. And but that inner light idea, as that came up, which I really have a hard time really understanding sometimes, and you hear this term bandied about, the singularity. What the heck does that mean? I'm not even sure what the singularity means. But I got this idea that the singularity is that point within our own consciousness, our own individuality, which is our point of spirit or our soul. But it's that point where we connect to the whole rest of the universe.
Wow.
So I think it's, but it's a really ancient, I mean, it's a very common kind of Hindu religion idea that each of us is connected to the universe within.
Yeah.
And that also comes up in Hermetics and in magic and in Wicca and everything, because it's spirituality. It's like.
But this came up in your meditation.
This came up in the meditation as that point, the singularity being that point where each of us have this point within where we connect to the whole universe. And that is how people access that point. And then they tell you that they're reading the Akashic records, or just being psychic for somebody, or that's all through that point. Somehow within each of us, there is that connection point to everything, to the universe. And to other people, and to every, level too. So, but that idea was that the singularity is not that there's multiple singularities, but there's always a new level. There's always a new level. That was that idea from one to the whole, this fence or this wall idea in the sun card is that it's like you go beyond the wall and you get to another level. But then there's always going to be outside the box. But there's always going to be another outside the box.
Right.
Because we're connected to the whole darn universe. So, but that's
well,
kind
it's
of that
like
side of
the
refinement.
the Ein Sof and the Ein Sof
or.
And it goes from, like, because the tree isn't just one tree, but there's multiple trees within trees within trees, right?
There's always another
in the
level.
different worlds, There's
always another dimension, a new level.
Yeah.
And so that was that,
There's other imagery of me being at my lake with foot in and foot out, and being playing with this lyre and being like Apollo, and being like, or being, and then
So lots of imagery about different, but that was sort of the gist of it. And I think that was the important part.
Mm-hmm.
It's the point where you connect to a greater knowledge, another level of awareness. That there's always a point of connection within
Right.
to connect to another level of awareness.
Ah.
I hope that's loud enough to hear. Always a point within to connect to a new level of awareness. A whole nother
Thing.
another
Sphere.
another sphere, another layer of the onion,
Yes.
as is illustrated in Enochian, which we may get to as well.
Mm-hmm.
System of all these layers, levels, aethers.
Right.
So for now, we have found a point to connect to. Yay! Thank you. I'm going to stop it now.
Okay. Thank you.
Feel free to question, comment on the group, and or we will attempt a thing on Messenger now as well. But you don't have to. If you have questions or comments, please feel free to write them down.